Hey guys, today I am answering a question I found on Reddit, and the question is it weird to just cry from being lonely? Now, first I have to preface this by saying I am a therapist, so I might be a little bit biased in saying I really like to encourage everybody to express the emotions that they are feeling as long as they're doing it in a healthy way that's not hurting themselves or another person. But that being said, I actually wanted to talk about some of the scientific parts of this, and I'm really grateful that this person asked the question because I think a lot of people do wonder if feeling lonely and crying is a normal thing, if crying's okay in certain situations, and so I'm glad you asked this question, so thank you. So scientifically, I just wanted to talk about how we are wired for connections as humans, and that's based in the fact that our brains develop the ability to learn how to walk, talk, and do all the normal human functions through relationship. In fact, if you take a kiddo and it goes through severe neglect, and I've even seen this in certain people that I've worked with, they miss certain milestones of development, including not learning how to walk, or if a kiddo isn't exposed to light and different stimulus, they won't actually see, even if they have all of the brain wiring that would normally enable them to see if they were just given that stimulus. And so we are wired to connect with other people so that we learn and grow as humans and develop. The other theory was that, back when we used to be in tribes and kind of survive as more, tribal communities, if you were in isolation, you might actually potentially die due to your loneliness or not being included or feeling connected to humans and the tribe. And so it is definitely part of our inherent DNA and probably passed down from generations of humanity that being lonely is typically not a very comfortable experience for most humans. Now, I will say some people reframe loneliness and they find it to be a wonderful thing because they call it solitude. And that's like their opportunity to really go inward and connect with themselves, and that's a positive experience. But for a lot of people, being lonely or the association of loneliness is a painful thing. And crying is something that we do when we're experiencing pain because it helps our brain release the really good feel-good chemicals of dopamine, which is a pain reliever. And it makes sense that your body's like naturally trying to regulate itself by crying and just kind of releasing and, again, giving you some pain relief in that. I think crying is a much better way of handling that and dealing with that than numbing out in other ways, going to an addiction or stuffing it down for you to kind of like build and build and build and it to release in potentially unhealthy ways. So there's this phrase that, what you don't talk out or you don't cry and release, like you act out. And so I would encourage you to go ahead and just, as long as it's an appropriate situation, cry. Like it's totally fine and it's a natural human emotion. And maybe if it's not the most appropriate situation, make sure you give yourself time to cry and like feel that later on. But I'm guessing if you're struggling with loneliness, you're probably not around a lot of people. So I hope that you at least feel good and safe enough with yourself to just let it be, because I think our body has wisdom that we don't always know or listen to, and that sensation to cry may be part of that. So those are my thoughts for you today, and anybody else who's wondered if crying is normal or feeling lonely or the two of those together. And thank you for letting me share my thoughts with you.